Welcome to our new series, The 200 Movie Challenge. Our goal this year is to watch 200 movies that we haven't seen yet. If you want to listen to the full podcast where this clip is from, the link will be in the description. Now enjoy today's movie.
Well, change of genre, change of a lot of things, Soto. Let me tell you about my first movie, which I've kind of teased the last couple of weeks. I wanted to watch this last week. Then I kind of watched a couple Valentine's Day movies, basically, kind of pregnant and an affair to remember. So I was like, all right, I got to get to this. I've been wanting to see it for a while. And I saw the movie Air, but from like
Mm-hmm.
2023, I think, with Matt
Yep.
Damon, Ben Affleck, Jason Bateman. And for those who don't know, this is basically a biographical kind of story about how Nike landed Michael Jordan. Now, I'm going to kind of state this in the beginning. Yes, there's probably going to be a little bias in this, because I love the Bulls. I love Michael Jordan. I still think he's the GOAT. That's beyond the point. So I was like, I'm just curious what the story is about because we all know how it ends, so it's like, can you take me for a good ride? So it takes place obviously in 1984 after that draft. Hakeem Olajuwon's first, Michael Jordan's third, and at that time Nike was like the third biggest selling shoe. Like Converse was first, Adidas was second, and Adidas was the up and coming one. And Michael
Mm-hmm.
Jordan already wanted to sign with Adidas. He wanted nothing to do with Nike because Nike was considered an old man's shoe. It was popular in the running department because that's what it was. They sold a
Mm-hmm.
lot of running shoes. They made money, but they were trying to get into other markets and they just started like a basketball department. And Matt Damon
Mm-hmm.
plays the agent who kind of went after Michael. He's he knows a lot about basketball. They had like a 250,000 budget to go between three different players. They're talking about Barkley. They're talking about Stockton. All these other lower guys in the draft. Two, three, maybe one will hit. And this guy's like, we need to go all in on Jordan. They're like, Jordan doesn't even want to see us. So what this guy does is he goes to North Carolina and visits his mom and kind of just starts talking to the family. Like he goes bold. And yeah, so the whole movie's just how Nike put all this money, because that's what they did. They took that 250 grand instead of separating between three. They gave it to, they offered it to Michael, gave him this passionate speech, basically saying, in many years' time, we're all going to be forgotten, but you're going to be remembered. We just want to be part of that legacy. And they,
Mm.
we know the end. They obviously sold it, but the whole journey was like how Matt Damon put his job on the line, how the CEO of Nike did things that no one's ever done because, A, the first shoe had more color red in it than white. If you don't know the rules, NBA shoes are supposed to have 51% white in it.
I did
Nike
not know
made
that.
Nike was supposed to, the first shoe that they made for Jordan was mostly red for the Bulls. And they said, we will pay your fines because he's going to get fined $5,000 every game for incorrect shoes.
Wow.
They said, you don't have to worry about it, that part of the story I knew. The one big thing which I didn't know is in the contract, and this is what led to a lot of athletes, this is the first time they gave a cut of a money to the player. So now, they're like every Air
Mm-hmm.
Jordan, and they've never done that before. They were just like, well, that's not how business work, blah, blah, blah. And the mom was like, well, you said that, you feel like Jordan's going to be, my son, excuse me, is going to be this big representation, the best, and he deserves, he's putting on that shoe. It's his likelihood. He's going out there to get all these awards, even before all this. So, he deserves a cut. And so the CEO is like, finally gave in. And it's like, how much money could it be? Soto, they gave numbers at the end. The first year, the Air Jordan made 164 million. To this
Wow.
day, Michael Jordan still makes 400 million a year off those
Oh, I
shoes.
believe it. Because they're
They
still like
make
in. Yeah.
because obviously
Jordans. Yeah.
and then Nike bought like Converse like in 2003. So I mean the whole story was just great though because Michael Jordan doesn't even appear in this movie because they didn't
Mm-hmm.
want that fake because if they got a younger Jordan, like everyone's gonna be like, well, that guy's that can't play Jordan, that guy can't do this, so they didn't want that, you know, looming over this. It was just about Nike and how they did it and Jordan's family. Because the one thing Jordan demanded when they were going to make this movie is he wanted this actress Viola Davis to play his
Mm-hmm.
mother. He's like, that's it. Like if you can't get her, we're not. He's just like, I want her. And so they went and got her. But so this movie is amazing. Like for a biographical film, Like I know
Wow.
I'm a little biased because again, Chicago Bulls, but the way it was done and everything that, I know some things are probably, stretched out for Hollywood, but the text and the facts that they were giving was very interesting. But yeah, I enjoyed the shit out of this. It's free on Prime. It's the only place. This is actually an Amazon, Prime Amazon movie. So if you have Prime, definitely worth checking it out. Because I say that, Soto. This is easily number two on my list. Right
Wow.
underneath Amelia, because it was right there with that Jim Henson idea, man. And I'm like, because again, I was looking at it, I'm like, because it is it is very interesting. And again, I know there's a little bias there, but I'm looking at that list. I'm like, that's what made it enjoyable for me. But
Yeah.
it's the fact that it's a basketball movie without it being a basketball movie. And I know that sounds weird, but
No, not at all. That's interesting.
yeah. So like I
It
said,
almost
I
sounds like
mean,
a documentary kind of a movie though, but like like a drama, like a drama version of a documentary, that kind
correct.
of thing.
And Matt Damon's great in it, and it's funny because the running gag is like, we're a running shoe company. A lot of them do run, and Matt Damon's like, I'm too old to run, and I'm just looking at him like, God, it just. But anyhow, yeah, this movie it is a well done movie, and like I said, it was very nostalgic because they at the beginning they show everything that was popular in 1984, like they're showing the Ghostbusters, I can't remember some of the toys that they're showing, and then you just remember that time and how Jordan just took over,
Hmm.
as an era, like
Oh
a
yeah.
Tiger Woods, even like a Tom Brady, just bigger than the game itself, and
Hmm.
yeah, no, but that aside, it was so good. And I'm trying to think, there's a couple other people. Oh, Chris Tucker was in this. And when I saw his name, I'm like, oh man, because I'll be honest, I'm not a huge Chris Tucker fan. There's only a couple movies I can, like I think Rush Hour is about all I can deal with him, but when he gets too mouthy, but in
Well,
this,
like Fifth Element.
I could not, I love The Fifth Element, but man, he was so talkative in that.
He's he sure is.
It's a
He
little
sure
much for
is.
me. But in this, he did great. But yeah, and basically how they had to do this pitch meeting to Jordan and his parents. Everything they did in a 3-day weekend, from creating the shoe, coming up with the name, the slogans, and stuff like that. But they sold it. They just looked at him, at first, and I think like I said, it's just weird because Jordan was going to go with Adidas, and Adidas even matched the offer. They're like, "We'll give you the 250. We'll give you like the Mercedes. He wanted this Mercedes car as well. We'll give you that." But they would not give him a cut of the money as well. But I think that's what kind of sold it. But to this day, that deal is what got the players all the endorsement deals. That's how it all started, from Nike just taking a chance. And this guy, the CEO, is obviously now, he was rich before, but he's well rich. 4 billion a year just off of fucking Air Jordans. That's
It's a risk, dude. I mean, that's a once in a lifetime risk, and like you said, Jordan was so huge when we were growing up, in the '80s, and this was these guys' livelihood. They had never even the concept of guys wearing shoes that had their names on it. I mean, now it's like so common in the NBA.
but he was a rookie. He didn't. It was even before his first day as a pro, and that was the biggest thing. Like, yeah, we know Jordan's college career was great. Obviously a lot of people expected him to do well, but you never know. You take that step
You
into
never know.
professional sports. Like
Yeah.
if Jordan would have just flat out sucked, and Nike probably wouldn't be around today.
Yeah. Oh,
I
yeah.
mean, not to the extent that they are. Uh, but yeah, they took a chance on a rookie, which was very unheard of at that time. Because, like they said at the beginning, usually they take the money, maybe divide it between three and four. Like they were talking about Stockton, they're like, yeah, he's scrappy like us. He's like, he went to Gonzaga. Does anyone know where Gonzaga really is? No one. It was just a great inside joke, and they're like, even so, but it was just well done. And like I said, it's very interesting. If you are a basketball fan, I would say check it out because, like I said, I
Cool.
mean, there's just a lot of good history to it too. But it's just, like I said, I knew I was gonna like it. I just did not think I was gonna like it as much as I did. So, but yeah,
Hmm.
easily number two, what right under Amelia Perez, because it's gonna be hard to top that for a little while. But